What's going on, everybody? I'm Ben Richey, and today we're going to count down my top 10 favorite WWE pay-per-views. Now, I make it no secret that I am a huge wrestling fan. I have been a wrestling fan for most of my life. So, if you're not a wrestling fan, you might as well click off this video. And if you are a wrestling fan, let me know in the comments what your favorite pay-per-view is. And since the WWE Network is rad, make sure you check out all 10 of my favorite pay-per-views. So let's get started. Number 10. Extreme Rules 2012. Number 10 is Extreme Rules 2012. You had CM Punk versus Chris Jericho in a street fight. CM Punk is probably my all-time favorite wrestler, and Chris Jericho is pretty close up there in my favorites. So this was a dream match. The WrestleMania match was great. This was awesome. And not to mention the main event, you had Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. John Cena gets destroyed. The ending of the match isn't that great, but the match itself is worth checking out. Number 9. SummerSlam 2013. Number 9 is SummerSlam 2013. You had CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar. Again, two of my favorites going at it. Great match. You could kind of already see how it was going to go, but it was still great. You had Daniel Bryan winning the title, and then Orton cashing in right after, which was kind of a mixed bag. It was really cool how it came out on TV, but having Orton be the champion again was kind of lame. All in all, SummerSlam 2013 was great. Number 8. WrestleMania 20. Number 8 is WrestleMania 20. You had Undertaker finally return as the Dead Undertaker, not the biker. You had the Dead Undertaker, which is my preferred Undertaker. You had Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle with Eddie Guerrero's WWE Championship on the line, which at any pay-per-view, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle is going to be amazing. And then you had the main event. You had Chris Benoit versus Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. Stole the show, one of the greatest matches of all time. This is only number 8, but one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Not the best, because there's more on this list, but one of the best. Number 7. TLC 2012. Number 7 is TLC 2012. You had The Shield making their debut in a TLC match where I believe they took on Ryback and Team Hell No. Fantastic match, some great spots, some nasty table spots. You had Ziggler versus Cena in a ladder match where AJ turned down Cena, costing him the match and giving Ziggler his Money in the Bank briefcase back. Fantastic. Those two matches alone make this card worth watching. Number 6. WrestleMania 19. Number 6 is WrestleMania 19. Remember I said there's more WrestleManias on this list. But WrestleMania 19 had Lesnar versus Angle. That match alone is worth watching this entire pay-per-view. If there's a botch in it that is like super famous, but we won't go into that. Still a great match. You had The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in one of Stone Cold's very last matches. Again, anytime those two are in the ring, makes for a great match. Definitely worth checking out. And then you had Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon, which you'd think would be an awful, sloppy mess, but it's very violent, very bloody. I'm a fan of the hardcore wrestling style, so I really enjoyed that. Not a big Hogan fan, never was, never will be, but this match is worth checking out. Number 5. SummerSlam 2002. Number 5 is SummerSlam 2002. Triple H versus Shawn Michaels in a brutal, stiff, bloody match. Their whole feud in 2002 was one of the best. I've always been a fan of the hardcore style, like I said, and this takes the cake. This is one of the best. And then you had Brock Lesnar versus The Rock for the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar, like I said, is one of my favorites, especially back then when he was young and agile and able to move a little better. This match is fantastic. If you're going to watch anything, watch this main event. The crowd turns on The Rock, which I always love when the crowd goes the other direction that you expect. And the match is fantastic, so SummerSlam 2002 is right in the middle, number 5. Number 4, Royal Rumble 2000. Number 4 is the Royal Rumble 2000. The Royal Rumble match itself was okay. I believe The Rock won it. Wasn't too bad, but the whole point that this pay-per-view is on this list, the whole point to watch this pay-per-view is the main event, the WWF title match. Cactus Jack versus Triple H in a street fight. One of the most brutal WWE matches ever. There's barbed wire, I believe there's fire, there's spots on wooden pallets. Triple H gets a chunk taken out of his leg. It's brutal, and I've already said this, I like the hardcore style, so this match is one of my all-time favorite matches, which is why this is one of my all-time favorite pay-per-views. Royal Rumble 2000's number 4. Number 3, WrestleMania X7. We're getting towards the end here. Number 3 is WrestleMania X7. You had Stone Cold versus The Rock 2. This is the second time they fought, and this is the better of the 3. You also had an amazing TLC match. Anytime there's a ladder match at WrestleMania, it's worth watching. Money in the Banks, TLCs, 3-way ladder matches, they're all great. This is probably the best. The TLC match made this pay-per-view. It bumped it up to number 3 on my list. So check out WrestleMania X7. Number 2, King of the Ring 1998. And number 2 is the King of the Ring 1998. I've said it multiple times in this video. I like hardcore wrestling. I like the extreme stuff. Big ECW fan. King of the Ring 1998 is probably the most violent pay-per-view that wasn't an ECW pay-per-view that WWE ever showed. The main event was Kane versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWF Championship in a first blood match, where obviously Kane's not going to lose, but if Kane lost, he was going to set himself on fire. The match is brutal. They bring down the Hell in the Cell at one point and fight inside the Hell in the Cell. They go all over the arena. It's fantastic. But the reason you watch this pay-per-view is the Hell in the Cell match. Mankind versus The Undertaker. It's been shown millions of times. The clip is probably the most played clip in WWE history. Mankind getting thrown off, getting thrown through, getting thrown on a thumbtacks, tombstoned. It's insane that Mankind, Mick Foley, was able to continue the match. I'm a huge Mankind fan, huge Mick Foley fan, and that match alone bumped it up. But the first blood match is fantastic as well. Number 1, Money in the Bank 2011. And my number 1, my all-time favorite WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it, pay-per-view is Money in the Bank 2011. CM Punk, like I said, my favorite wrestler probably of all time, takes on John Cena for the WWE Championship. This is after his infamous shoot, and he claimed if he won, he was going to walk out the company with the championship. So obviously everybody didn't think he was going to win, but it was in Chicago, CM Punk's hometown. Nobody likes Cena to begin with, and you're in CM Punk's hometown, so you can imagine the crowd for this pay-per-view made this pay-per-view 10 times better. But CM Punk versus John Cena, amazing match. Spoiler alert, CM Punk does win in a great match. But you also had the Money in the Bank ladder match. That Daniel Bryan won. Another one of my favorites. Another indie guy. That match was fantastic. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk going over the same night in big profile matches, high profile matches. This is the best pay-per-view, in my opinion, of all time. If you're going to watch anything, go watch Money in the Bank 2011. But that's my opinion. Those are my 10 favorite WWE pay-per-views. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. leave me a comment, let me know what your favorite pay-per-views are and why. Make sure you tell me why. And thanks for watching. Leave me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you later.